dear young scientists.
You are listening to our School on Air science subject. I hope you fully understand our lesson for today.
Sci Talks Radio. Education must continue.
Learning is a great avenue.
No one will be left behind. With new normal comes new learning.
New method, new way of understanding.
Keep on learning.
Keep on achieving.
There's no way of hindering.
Enriching one's dream.
This is Sci Talks Radio, your number one source of science education. Conveying a half an hour of quality scientific teaching on air.
This is
Sci Talks Radio.
Grand amazing Thursday, magnificent 8th graders who are actively participating in our broadcast. Here I am, Sir Terence Arellano, your guide in this earthquake learning journey. Again, be ready to duck, cover, and hold as we shake our curiosity and discover more about earthquakes only here at Sci Talks Radio in Radyo Eskwela sa Isabela. Pieces of reminders, dear students. You must ensure that your radio is audibly and comfortably set. Stay attentive as you listen and open your module or learning activity sheets. Don't forget also your ballpen and notebook for you to jot down key points of our lesson. These are important preparations to understand our lesson. And if everything's all set, get ready to explore. Before starting, let's first do the earthquake exercise. Just step 1 foot forward, arms bent sidewards, then shake your body. Come on, let's do it. Step forward, arms bent sidewards, then shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Alright. Last episode, you have learned about a mind-shaking fact on faults and its relation to earthquake. This time, let's have a simple recap questions. Let's start. The crust and uppermost part of the mantle is part of the Earth's lithosphere. This lithosphere is like a jigsaw puzzle. It is broken into segments called... That's right! We call this one as tectonic plate. How about the crack or fracture on the crust? How do we call it? You got it again! It is a fault. Good! When there is a weak to violent movement of the ground caused by the sudden release of energy produced from the movement of the plates along the faults, this results to... That's right! That's what I'm referring to. Earthquake. Correct. Basically, there are 3 types of faults. What are they again? That's right. We have the normal fault, thrust or reverse fault, and strike-slip fault. Kindly stand and name again the 3 types of faults. Great. We have the normal fault, thrust or reverse fault, and strike-slip fault. What fault is described when the hanging wall block moves up over the footwall block that will result to collision and formation of mountains? Wow, that's amazing! It is the thrust or reverse fault. How about the fault where the overlying block or hanging wall moves down with respect to the lower block or footwall? This creates a rift valley or a lowland caused tensional stress which pulls the crust apart. Exactly. It is called the normal fault. But when the blocks of rocks are sliding past each other horizontally, with little to no vertical movement, what fault is this? You got it right. It's not your fault nor my fault, but it's the strike-slip fault. Kidding aside, I'm glad that you remembered our previous lesson. You deserve a round of applause. Alright, now you are ready to dig more about earthquake. We are often shocked with the news broadcasting a strong earthquake that hits a certain place. The collapsed buildings, ruined roads, injured people, or worst case, people buried alive gives us goosebumps. But not all earthquakes are as serious as this one. Even at this moment, there could be an earthquake but it is too weak to be felt. But where could this earthquake start? How can we describe whether it is strong or weak? Well, let's start to understand it with its origin. The point where the fault begins to slip inside the earth is known as the focal point of the quake or focus. This is where seismic waves begin to propagate. On page 6 of your module, where do you think is the focus? Will you point it out? Okay, that's right. It's number 3. It is below the surface of the ground along the fault. Now, in the ground, directly above the focus, it is the epicenter. The area around the epicenter is where greatest damage occur that is directly observed by the people. Again, on page 6. Can you label where is the epicenter? Very good, it's number 2. But how does seismologists locate the origin of an earthquake? Seismologists first locate the epicenter, and to locate it, there must be at least readings from the 3 seismographs in the region. Now, aside from the location of the earthquake, it is also important to understand the magnitude and intensity of the quake. Magnitude measures the energy released from the focus of the earthquake. This is what seismograph measures. Surely, you have already heard from the news reporting magnitude 6.9 or 7.5. These scales are based on a Richter magnitude scale that measures the quantity of seismic energy released by an earthquake. Look at activity 4 on page 10 to understand how magnitude is being scaled. It starts with magnitude 2, described as micro-earthquake that is unnoticeable or not felt. Magnitude 2.0 to 2.9, minor earthquake and generally not felt but recorded in the seismograph. And magnitude 3.0 to 3.9 is also described as minor earthquake and it's often felt, but it rarely causes damage. Magnitude 4.0 to 4.9 described as light earthquake with noticeable shaking of inner things, shaking clamors, but significant damage is unlikely to happen. Magnitude 5.0 to 5.9, this is a moderate earthquake that can cause serious harm to ineffectively developed structures over small regions and at most slight damage to well-designed buildings. Magnitude 6.0 to 6.9 is a strong earthquake damaging areas up to 160 kilometers across in populated areas. Magnitude 7.0 to 7.9 is a major earthquake that can cause major damage over larger areas. Magnitude 8.0 to 8.9 is a great earthquake that can cause serious damage in places several hundred miles across. Magnitude 9.0 to 9.9 is a great earthquake devastating in areas several thousand miles across. And lastly, magnitude 10.0 plus is an epic earthquake that has never been recorded. The magnitude of an earthquake is fixed irrespective to the distance of the epicenter. Now, what is the lowest magnitude in the scale? That's right, it's less 2. How about the highest scale? Accurately, it's 10 plus. Don't you know that the highest recorded magnitude is 9.5 near Valdivia in southern Chile in 1960? This was referred as the largest earthquake of the 20th century. On the other hand, Intensity is the strength of the trembling made by the earthquake in a place. It indicates the effect and extent of damage it causes. The intensity varies depending on where you are and is determined by the Mercalli scale. Look at Activity 5 on page 11 to understand. This scale ranges from Roman numeral 1 to 10. Intensity 1. Shaking is scarcely perceptible but felt by people under favorable circumstances. Delicately balanced objects are disturbed slightly. Still water in containers oscillates slowly. Intensity number 2. Here, shaking is slightly felt by few individuals at rest indoors. Hanging objects swing slightly. Still water in containers oscillates noticeably. Intensity 3. Here, it shows weak shaking felt by many people indoors, especially in upper floors of buildings. Vibration is felt like one passing of a light truck. Dizziness and nausea are experienced by some people. Next is Intensity 4. Here, moderately strong shaking can be felt generally by people indoors and by some people outdoors. Light sleepers are awakened. Vibration is felt like a passing of heavy truck. Hanging objects swing considerably. Intensity 5 shows strong shaking and generally felt by most people indoors and outdoors. Many sleeping people are awakened. Some are frightened, some run outdoors. And strong shaking and rocking felt throughout the building. Intensity 6 is a very strong shaking where many people are frightened. Many run outdoors. Some people lose their balance, and motorists feel like driving in flat tires. Intensity 7 poses a destructive shaking. Most people are frightened and run outdoors. Intensity 7 poses a destructive shaking. Most people are frightened and run outdoors. People find it difficult to stand in upper floors. Heavy objects and furniture overturn or topple. Big church bells may ring. Intensity 8 is very destructive. People are panicky. People find it difficult to stand even outdoors. And many well-built buildings are considerably damaged. Concrete dikes and foundation of bridges are destroyed by ground settling or toppling. Intensity 9 shows a devastating shaking. People are forcibly thrown to ground. Many cries and shake with fear. Most buildings are totally damaged. Bridges and elevated concrete structures are toppled or destroyed. And numerous utility posts, towers, and monuments are tilted, toppled, or broken. Lastly, Intensity 10 is completely devastating. There are massive landslides and liquefaction, large-scale subsidence, and uplifting of landforms, and many ground fissures are observed. Now, what is the weakest intensity in the Mercalli scale? That's correct. It is Intensity 1. How about the strongest intensity scale? Correct. It's Intensity 10. How about a very destructive intensity? Correct. It's Intensity 8. Wow, you're a very good listener. In the Philippines, we use the PHIVOX Earthquake Intensity Scale or PEIS in describing the intensity of an earthquake. This is similar to Mercalli scale. See page 20 in your learning activity sheet to visualize. Have you heard of Marikina Valley Fault? This is just one of the active faults in our country and considered as most dangerous because it lies almost all the progressive and crowded portions of Manila such as Marikina, Montalban, San Mateo, Pasig, Taguig, Muntinlupa, San Pedro, Binyan, Santa Rosa, Carmona, Tagaytay, Calamba, and Oriental Mindoro. Active faults are areas along in which displacement is expected to occur. On the other hand, inactive faults are areas that can be identified but do not have earthquakes. Alright, let's sum it up. The origin of an earthquake where seismic waves are produced is referred as focus, correct. Just above the focus is the epicenter. The amount of energy released determines the magnitude of the earthquake, while intensity measures the effect and extent of damage it causes. The magnitude is constant while intensity depends on the location of the described area. What scale is used to measure the magnitude of an earthquake? That's right, the Richter magnitude scale. This ranges from 2 to 10 plus. How about to measure the intensity? You got it. It's the Mercalli scale, and in the Philippines, we have the PEIS. And these ranges from, correct, intensity 1 to 10. Students, it is very important that you are prepared whenever an earthquake occurs. When you felt the shaking, first thing to do is not to panic, but to stay calm. This will help you think of what to do next. Performing the duck, cover, and hold is one safety measure to do during the earthquake. Just always remember, we must always be ready. Well, I think you're now ready for a quiz. Kindly get your 1/4 sheet of paper and ball pen. All you have to do is to write true if the statement is correct and false if it is incorrect. Is that clear? Alright, let's start. Number 1. The epicenter of an earthquake is located just above the focus. Is it true or false? Write your answer. For number 2, magnitude 9.5 earthquake in Chile is described as a strong earthquake. Is it true or false? Write your answer. Let's proceed to number 3. Mercalli's scale ranges from Roman numeral 1 to 10, describes the earthquake's magnitude. True or false? Write your answer. Be ready for number 4. In intensity 4, the vibration of the earthquake is felt like a passing of heavy truck. Is it true or false? Write your answers. Lastly, number 5. Active faults are areas where earthquake is likely to occur. Is it true or false? Write your answer. Alright, we're done with our simple quiz. Let's answer it. For number 1, true. Number 2, false. Number 3, false. Number 4, true. And number 5, true. Did you answer it all correctly? That's awesome! To those who got low score, don't worry. Just keep on reading and learning. You can do better next time. For your additional activities, kindly refer to our module and learning activity sheets. If you have any clarification, queries, or requests, feel free to chat or call or text your science teacher regarding it. A humble reminder, dear student, Kindly submit your accomplished task completely and on time. Alright, congratulations my dear young seismologists! We're done with our lesson. Please read again what we have learned and do your additional tasks. Is that clear? Before I bid goodbye, let us thank the scientific minds behind this lesson, Val and Jane Emily Gayu, together with the whole RBI production team. Thank you for tuning in. This is your Deputy School on Air in Science 8. Thank you for tuning in. This is your Deputy School on Air in Science 8 with your radio teacher, Teacher Terence Arellano, saying, earthquakes may not be predicted when will it happen, but your future is predicted with what you do. Stay at home, stay safe. God bless and goodbye!
Halina't matuto, gamit ang ating radyo, pakinggan at unawain, aralin na ituturo. Patuloy ang edukasyon para sa ating henerasyon, sa daan ng pagkatuto ay walang maiiwan. Kaya halina sa Radyo Eskwela.
Patuloy ang edukasyon para sa ating henerasyon.
Sa daan ng pagkatuto ay walang may iwan.
Kaya halina sa Radyo Eskwela.